When I moved to the Netherlands, I thought I had a pretty good idea of what to expect. Canals, lots of biking, you know the drill. But living here for the past 3 months has surprised me in a few different ways. So today I'm going to share 5 things that have really stood out to me since moving to the Netherlands. If you're new here, hi, my name's Han. I'm an embroidery artist and small business owner. My husband and I moved our lives and small business over here to the Netherlands from the US about 3 months ago. I had been living in the US for the past 12 years, even though I am British. And there have been a few differences I've noticed between the US and the Netherlands, of course. Let's start with the one that kind of hits you fast, or at least it kind of hit me fast as a British person. Dutch directness. In general, people are very honest and direct here. They don't sugarcoat things like I might be used to, and I get it, this is totally a me problem. Being raised in England, I definitely was taught to put other people's feelings first, always above my own. And being just overly polite is very much ingrained in me, in my personality, I guess. So when somebody is very direct and blunt with me, I can get a little bit taken aback. But again, that's a me problem and something that I'm definitely working on. It's actually kind of refreshing to have people be very direct, blunt, and honest with you. You don't really have to guess what people mean or wonder if they're being fake with you, which I've heard is a criticism that Dutch people have of British people, which I find really interesting. I can't speak for other British people, but I promise I'm not being fake when I'm being overly polite. It was just beaten into me from a very young age. Next, and this one surprised me in a very good way, groceries and utilities are so much cheaper here. So a lot of the grocery items that we buy are similar or the same price as they were in the US, but nothing is ever more expensive than it was in the US. If anything, it is cheaper, which is a really nice surprise for us because we saw in our research that groceries would be kind of a similar price to what they were in the US, but we're spending around 40 to 50 euros less every 2 weeks on groceries. Utilities, however, are far cheaper here than they were in the US. For example, our Wi-Fi in the US, we were paying about $150 every month. This was for a very high-speed Wi-Fi because my husband and I are video gamers and we also work from home, so we need a really steady, quick, reliable internet service. Here in the Netherlands, we pay 20 euros a month for an extremely fast internet service. The tools and supplies that I need for my small business cost about the same, which I was expecting, but since my husband and I work from home, we weren't expecting that much of a decrease in our utilities and bills, so that was a really nice surprise. Okay, so everybody kind of knows that the Netherlands is known for biking, but even with all of the research that I didn't realize that the biking infrastructure would be what it is. You can bike pretty much anywhere in the Netherlands. We live in a city that has wider bike paths than roads, which is really mind-blowing as someone who's been living in the US for the past 12 years. I had to drive to everything. I was in a car every single day, and now I just hop on my bike whenever I need to go somewhere. It's fantastic. I can look out of my window at any given time and see people cycling by in suits, dresses, workout gear, school uniforms, and it doesn't matter what the weather is like, if it's raining, if it's sunny, if it's windy, people will be biking. It's actually often faster to take your bike than to drive somewhere, especially in a city, and I've really fallen in love with how it feels to just hop on my bike and head anywhere that I want to go. Another thing that blew me away is the level of English that people speak here in the Netherlands. That's not to say that I am not doing my best to learn Dutch. I am enrolled in an intensive Dutch course that will be starting in just a couple of weeks, and I've also been learning on my own for the past couple of months. But whenever I speak English with a Dutch person, I'm always just so amazed. I know that English is taught here from a very young age, but it's still really impressive, and it makes me grateful as an immigrant to the country that I'm able to communicate with people in my community because of their outstanding language skills. The high level of English spoken here also makes it easy when attending government appointments and such. My husband and I were having a conversation and we weren't sure if our move would have gone so smoothly if we had moved to a country with lower English proficiency. But again, that doesn't mean we are not trying our best to learn the language. I've set myself a goal of being fluent in Dutch within the next 12 months. Let's hope I reach it. I've said it now. You guys have to hold me accountable. This one might sound kind of small, but my mind has been blown a little bit by how well everything runs here. The trains, the buses, everything is usually on time. It stops where it says it's gonna stop. Everything is really clean. We were in a really large train station the other day, and I couldn't stop looking at the floors and just saying to my husband, wow, do you think they mop this place like every hour or something? The floor is so clean. Like I would sit on this floor. I just kept talking about the floor for like 20 minutes. It was kind of embarrassing, but Comparing the public spaces of the Netherlands to the public spaces in the US, there is really no comparison. We recently had to travel to Amsterdam for a couple of government appointments regarding our residency cards and stuff. They specifically tell you not to get to the building too early. So we arrived about 5 minutes before our appointment and we were in and out within 10 minutes, and it was the most refreshing experience ever. If any Americans are watching this, they will know what I mean when I say, if you have to go to the DMV for anything, which is the Department of Motor Vehicles, you need to set aside an entire day. So if you need a new license photo taken for your driver's license, if you have any issues with your driver's license, you need a new one issued, or you need to take your driver's license test, anything to do with that, you will be in that building for the entire day. I once spent about 7 hours in a DMV when I was getting my driver's license switched from a student one to a green card one. It was a hell of an experience. So this is really a change that I welcome. Well-trained employees, clean spaces, trustworthy public transport. They all fit into this point and I just feel so blessed to be here. And okay, I have to throw in one more. The work-life balance here. In the Netherlands, in general, people do not live to work. There's this general attitude of it'll get done when it gets done, it'll get done when I get to it. And at first, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of shook me and my husband. We're very used to the American way of things, I guess the capitalist mindset of taking care of something at 2 a.m. if you have to. Especially as small business owners, there were some nights we would work all through the night, get back to clients at 4 or 5 a.m. whenever they had questions for us. And I know a lot of people in America who live like that, people who work corporate jobs and such, who never really put their phones, put their laptops down because work always comes first. And from what I've seen in the Netherlands, it's simply not like that here. We actually worked with an immigration lawyer to get all of our daft visa paperwork handled. And sometimes we were expecting replies within the day whenever we would reach out to them, and we wouldn't get responses from them until like 3 or 4 days later. Granted, this was in the season that everybody in the Netherlands is typically on holiday, so there was less people in their office. But that was really strange to us. A couple of times we had to check and make sure like they were still working with us, because it's just a totally different culture in the US to what it is here. And I'm really welcoming that change as a small business owner myself. It's definitely taking some getting used to, but it's one of the main reasons we decided to move to the Netherlands. I personally need a better work-life balance. I need to not be working all the time and thinking about work. So yeah, just truly another blessing for us. So yeah, those are a few things that really surprised me after moving to the Netherlands. I've only been here for a few months now, so there might be a few more things that surprise me in the future. If you're also an immigrant in the Netherlands, or if you visited before, I'd love to know what things surprised you most about the country. And if you're Dutch, born and raised in the Netherlands, I'd love to hear what things about the US, maybe even England, that surprised you most if you visited there. Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe, especially if you like content like this. I have a bunch more videos planned for the next couple of weeks, and I would hate for you guys to miss them. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!